You know, there's a particular scripture in the Bible that seems to suggest that not everybody is supposed to have the ability to speak in tongues. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 30. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Do all work miracles? Do all have the gift of healing? Do all speak in tongues? Do all interpret? And so the people who don't believe in the practice of speaking in tongues usually use this verse a lot to say that, you know, Paul said, are all apostles, are all prophets, do all speak in tongues? In other words, you know, they interpret this to mean that Paul was saying, do all speak in tongues? That means, is everybody supposed to be able to speak in tongues? But that is not the case. But before we even start to unpack what is going on here, it is important to know that this same Apostle Paul, writing to this same church in the city of Corinth, said to them in another part of this letter that I want every one of you to speak in tongues. He literally said to them, I would like every one of you to speak in tongues. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 5a. The first part of that verse, 1 Corinthians 14 5a. Look at what it says. I would like every one of you to speak in tongues. Pause. So this same Apostle Paul, writing to this same church in the city of Corinth, literally said to them in another part of this letter that he would like every one of them to speak in tongues. So to a degree, this already ends the argument of whether every one of us should be speaking in tongues or not, because the Apostle Paul writes in his letter to Corinth and he tells them, I would like every one of you to speak in tongues. So before we even start to unpack what was actually going on in that 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 30, it is important to have this at the back of our mind, that this same Apostle Paul, in this same letter to the church in Corinth, writes to them and tells them that I would like every one of you to speak in tongues. So it couldn't mean that when he was saying, are all apostles, are all prophets, do all speak in tongues, do all interpret, it couldn't mean that this same person that have said in another part of the letter that he wants every one of them to speak in tongues. It couldn't be that he will now come here and start saying, is everybody supposed to speak in tongues?